everyone. So today is going to be the plan to go to energiehaven to climb there and rate the gym. I can now go anywhere where I want to, but because it's the last day that I can go with the train, because I don't really have, I can really go with the train in the weekends. I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna go to energiehaven and rate the gym. So yeah, next week I will be uploading one monk video, which is kinda like an introduction to monk, and also like a pretty hard challenge, I think, that I set it for myself. I think it will be out Tuesday, I think. Yeah, for the rest I will be, I think later on start climbing hard in monk. And I'm going to be doing that with rating the gyms, so you guys will have rating gym content and also the hard climbing that I do in monk. And I think I will be trying to do that for I think like a half a year, maybe even more, and just see how that will go. And yeah, I will be just trying to climb as hard as possible in any of the gyms where I go to and that I try to rate. And also with like the monk gyms, I will also be trying to like try really hard boulders, try to do creators that I haven't done before, and just trying really hard on projects that I will be having maybe in the future. So I'm gonna make up to you guys for last year. But yeah, I will see you guys in the energiehaven later. I really didn't like that one at all. I'm gonna do a older one. like I really like what they did with this boulder with like these holds, but basically the whole boulder is one mover. Sometimes they also go a little bit overboard with these holds, but alright. Like the gym itself is really big, like pretty crowded though, which is also a little bit of like a bummer. But also pretty nice if you want to have like a lot of sociality and want to climb with a lot of people. So this training area, weights, this thing for balance, which is pretty funny I guess. They have a moonboard, kilter board, I think 50 degrees or 40 degrees, 30 degrees, 3 hang boards, which is pretty nice with small quims, and a campus board. But yeah, I'm missing a thing or two here though. Yeah, I think I had a pretty decent session. Did a 7C, but like I feel like I could have done more, but it's alright, I guess. Like, it's a little bit of a bummer that we couldn't climb outside, because usually outside there are also really nice boulders. You can't really climb shirtless outside though, which is also like a little bit of a bummer, but it's also really nice to have like a little bit of like a breeze. So yeah, I thought there was like no pull-up bar or no training area, but it's in here. But I think it's really inconvenient that they just like put it outside in a other part than just putting it in the same gym, but alright. So yeah, we're done with climbing today. I've done the 7C, which I'm pretty happy about because I've never done 7C in this gym ever. I've done like a lot of 7Bs over like the few months that I've climbed here, but never really 7C. So yeah, having now done 7C is really nice. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I think I could have maybe climbed a little bit more. I think I could have probably like done the 7B plus 2 today, but like, you know, I'm just really happy about this. And yeah, like I think it's also really nice for you guys to also see that I'm still like, you know, on the level of 7C, even though I've like didn't really like climbed like super like hard the last couple of months in like 2025. Like I think like the hardest boulder that I've done was like a 7C plus, which later on got downgraded to 7B plus. So well, if we're not gonna count that one, we're probably gonna say that I like did like mostly like 7B pluses. So yeah, it feels really nice to have done a 7C again, and even though this one is quite soft, it's still like my first 7C here, so I'm just really happy. So yeah, before waiting, I just want to say that it's really convenient that it's like really close by to like the station. The station is literally like there, which is really nice. It's like a 3-minute or 4-minute walk tops. Like, it's like super nice. So yeah, I didn't climb super much tents. There was a 7B plus which I came really close to, but I just couldn't stick one move. Which if I sticked it, I could have also done that one and put it into this video. But yeah, like the tents were really hard today. Once in a year there's like a really easy or pretty easy 7C. Because last year there was also a 7C which was really doable. I could have probably done it, but I didn't really felt ready to do 7C because, you know, 7C is like a pretty big grade, and definitely like back then I was like 7B. Like last year I was like 7B climber, maybe 7B plus in a good day. It's pretty rare that you can like do more than 3 7Bs in this gym, because the 7Bs in this gym are or either really hard, have a really weird moves, and are really tricky also. Footholds are really bad, or you just really have to do a lot of hard pulling and just, you know, pulling on really bad holds. Also a lot of hard overhang boulders in this gym. The route setting in this gym is really reliable because most of the setters that set in this gym also set the boulders from Dogmasters. I think the route setting in this gym is around like 7.5, because like sometimes you have really small quims or blocked quims, or you have, those really sharp, tiny quims. On the purple one that I showed you guys a few seconds ago, which was 7B plus, you had, the beginning, which was like really sharp holds, but also like those really weird, like, triangle holds. Those holds, like, sometimes they set really, really hard and just really weird stuff with it that doesn't really make sense. And, that's what makes the root setting sometimes a little bit, the boulders sometimes a little bit, do I want to really climb it? Kind of like, that experience. I had moments where I climbed in energiehaven and it was basically just like quimp ladders, like 2 or 3 boulders even. Uh, and then there was like one boulder which had like the purple hole that I showed you guys a few seconds ago. Only like pulling on really tiny quims or like really slopey quims, and then just trust your feet on basically a hole that's basically like this. Like, I know you have to make really hard boulders, you have to, make them, equal to the grade they were given. But yeah, I just really don't like when they, make quimp ladders, use the really slopey, like, quimps, basically like completely like condition stuff. Or when they just, like, make a climb rated 7B plus, and it's like the most like slopey and like the most like 7C plus looking shit that you will ever see in the gym. They go like a lot higher than what the grade is given on the boulder at the end. And I feel like, if you have to do a 7B plus, but the boulder is basically like you're climbing 7C, like, it's like, on one part it's really good training, but on the other part, is it really fun if you always have boulders that are built like that? And like, even though the gym doesn't always build like that, and I know that, because sometimes they also set a lot more easier stuff, like this 7C that I did today. Like, the thing is, I don't really like it when they just, like, just grade something like 7B or 7B plus, like around the tens, or like have like a 7A, and that's basically like 2 or 3 grades harder than the actual grade. And like that they just like do that with like half of the boulders of the gym. Like, I feel like after such a instant, I feel like I had enough with the gym for like at least a few months, and I feel like that's, why it gets a 7.5, because the route setting itself is really good, but sometimes it just feels like they just, give it too low of a grade and just make it too hard sometimes. But yeah, now the training area, I think I'm gonna give the training area, I think an 8. Why I give it an 8 is because, like, you have really good campus boards. You have a Moonboard 2017. You have a kilter board 40 degrees and 30 degrees. You have hangboards. You have tiny quims from the hangboard. The area they had above was fine, but I feel like, why put another building besides it if you can also just, put everything just there in the gym as it should have been. Like, I think it's such a waste, because I think I definitely would have rated the training area like a 10. But like this, just, you know, half of like the training you do is like inside the gym itself, and then the other half of like the training you're doing is outside, and the other half of a whole other like building. Yeah, that's why I give it an 8. Well, please let me know what you guys think. So yeah, now the cleanliness. I forgot that in the previous video in based Den Haag Holland Spoor. So yeah, I'm now gonna do this in this video. But yeah, basically it's like the same as that gym. It's like really clean, this gym. I didn't feel any sweaty holes. Ratio of like the boulders themselves is basically like there is chalk on them, and like sometimes they feel like pretty chalked up, but it's never really on a point where you like feel like it's mostly grease. It's like having chalk on them, but they're like still really good, and like you can still really like hold them really well without like just slipping away, or like having like a really sweaty jug in your face or a really sweaty crimp in your face. So yeah, I would say the cleanliness, I would say like it's like based on sport, because I know in the summers it gets a little bit worse. I would say an 8.5. Friendliness, I think the people behind the counter are quite friendly. And yeah, I think like there's a lot of people walking around. You can like have a climbing session with them, and like it's such a big gym with so many different people. You can basically just like really easily make friends there, or like get social there. There's a lot of people also like trying to help you with the boulders you're trying, or try them with you. I think the friendliness in this gym is just like really good. The vibe is really good. I would say like an 8, because like the kids training on the other end was, I feel like, a little bit less organized, how it was in Kunststof. Like there were trainers, but like I felt like the kids weren't really listening that well. And yes, I know it's really hard to do kids training, because I trained kids as well, like half a year ago. I know how horrible that is, but it could also be really fun. But you have to be really, really strict, and I feel like in Kunststof that's much more the case than here, because at some point they just let kids do whatever they want, and they just started climbing everywhere and like running everywhere. They were basically like climbing the ball, like one boulder, like 20 times, and they basically didn't look around them and thought like there were maybe some other people that want to climb those boulders. Then also I had one instant where there was just like a mother with a child, and she just let her child climb under me, like in the roof, and I was like basically like trying a really hard boulder there, so I could have fallen on the child. But like the parent was basically just like looking at me, let the child do whatever they wanted to do. It's like nobody that really looked or paid attention to what could have happened there, which I think is just like really, really bad. So yeah, air quality and conditioning, well, I think it's fine. You can climb outside if you really are like, cooking in the gym itself, which is really nice. I think also in the winter, fine temperature inside the gym, it's like not too cold. They could maybe use a little bit more like fans around the gym itself, but I think the gym is like an 8 with its air quality and ventilation. In the summers it gets a lot more hot, but you can just climb outside, and there should be a really nice breeze, which makes you feel a lot better. So yeah, now about the safeness and the safety, I think, well, like, parents just letting their kids climb whatever they want, no matter who's climbing where, and like, like not really having a really good structure, people like, walking around and looking if things are still going safely. um, having quite much pulling on the holds, like having really tiny holds, and pulling a lot, and just like, having really like slippable moves on boulders. I'm gonna give this gym a 6 for safety and safeness. Like I feel like the gym itself still does a pretty good job with maintaining the safety in the gym, but I feel like when we are going to talk about Kunststof amount of safeness, it's just like such a big difference between Kunststof safeness and this gym safeness. But yeah, now for the total score. The total score is a 7.7, which is a pretty good score. I think this gym is also really good, and I think The 7.7 is definitely the number I was thinking when going to this gym. I think the gym still could work on some things. I think definitely like the safety, I think they should pay attention to, but also the route setting a little bit, making it a little bit more fun for the people. And yeah, I think for the rest, it's just like a really good and just like a really fine gym. Definitely say check this gym out. And yeah, I think for now, I'll be having a really nice weekend. I hope you guys too have a really nice weekend. Stay safe because it's still like snowing outside, and when you're going with the bike, it could still be really slippery. So please look out. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, which will be coming out Tuesday. Later.